Hi there. Thanks so much, John. Hi, T. Hi, Hien. Good to see you guys here.
Hi, Viet. Hi, Ellison.
What's
Hey,
up?
look up. You're on screen. You're on screen. Ah! Millions of people all over the world are watching us, Ellison, from every single corner of the known universe, which means you should be paying attention
What
and
about aliens?
aliens too, and vampires, right? Yes. So, hey, how are you guys doing during this quarantine?
Um, our hair is getting a bit long. Yours looks good.
Hey, I cut both our hair yesterday, exact same style. What do you think,
Impressive.
Ellison?
Let me go.
Ken, how are you doing?
I'm doing good.
All right.
I haven't done much.
I see it in the background. You have the chicken and the chicken book too.
We're trying here.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I know that we have dozens, if not millions of people watching us right now, and we're so happy to be able to share Chicken of the Sea with everyone here. This is I've done many of these Zoom quarantine sessions now, and it is a way to connect with people. And I hope all the parents out there are staying safe and sane along with their kids. You know, we're doing our best here as well. Hopefully you're doing something creative. And as John said, how this came about was because Ellison really loves to read, and he had read a book called A Different Pond, written by the poet Bao Phi and illustrated by Thi Bui. And then one summer, I took Ellison with me to an artist's residency, which for all the kids out there is a place where writers and artists get to come together and spend a few weeks together and just do creative, fun stuff, which is basically like, you know, being like kids. And Bao and T were both at this resident artist colony. Ellison got to meet them, and this is the book. T, maybe you want to say something about the book?
Um, it's a more serious children's book based on a real family, father and son. One of Bao's early memories of going fishing with his dad.
Yeah, it's a really moving book about refugees. Ellison really was taken with it, and then he was so delighted to actually meet an actual working artist and writer. He doesn't consider me a working writer. I'm just his dad. So he got his book signed, and at the time he was, I think, 5 years old and already doing his own comic books. So he was really into the Marvel superheroes and everything. But he was inspired to do a wholly original story when he was at this artist colony, a 6-page book called Chicken of the Sea. And it is about chickens who decide to become pirates. And why not? Who wouldn't want to become a pirate? And I just put the book on Facebook. Ellison had done all the illustrations and had told me what the story was about, and I wrote the words down. And as it turns out, one of my Facebook friends was an editor at a publisher called McSweeney's. Her name was Christina Carnes. And she said, "Is this a real book? Can we publish this?" And I'm always looking for ways to make money off my children. So I said, sure, of course we can do that. But perhaps we need to have a more professional level of illustration. So I asked T to illustrate the book, and T can tell what happened from there.
I say no to everything first, but then I thought, okay, actually, this is pretty cool. But I was busy working on a book for grown-ups, and it was taking me a really long time. But Ellison's storyline reminded me so much of the storylines that I have seen Hien draw over the years. Lots of stick figure battles, lots of really wacky storylines and cool action scenes, which I don't really draw. So I asked him if he would be interested in like doing some sketches just to show them like what it might look like. So he drew some just straight out of his mind, some chickens that were pirates with like little stripy shirts and a little sea rat with a peg leg, and I think an eye patch. Did he have an eye patch? He had some pirate accoutrement. And so we sent it and they loved it. And I assured them that like I knew how to color Hien's drawings. So we would take it to, from sketchbook quality drawings to like something that could be printed in a book. And it was a leap of faith.
Yeah, so my co-author seems to have run off. I assume he'll come back. He's probably looking for something. But yeah, so it was a 6-page booklet, and what I had to do was to take his story, which is completely unaltered in the book that you have, and write about 30 or 40 lines for it. And he's come back with the book. And if you actually get the book, in the back of the book, there is the reproduction of the original Chicken of the Sea. So that's an added bonus for actually buying the book from Literati today. So I think with that, we should probably go and show people. Oh, here it is. He wants to show you some of the back matter from the book, pictures of the work in illustration, in process. And yeah, so it was really for me, I guess, a lot of fun working with Ellison on this book. Ellison, was it fun for you to work with Daddy on this book? Good. His allowance depends on him saying that, along with his TV time. How was it to work with your mom on the illustrating process?
It was all right. There's a lot of going to cafes and stuff. Took a while.
I bribed him with boba and ramen.
All right. Not bad. Not bad. So with that, let's go into Chicken of the Sea.
Maybe you've eaten chicken, but have you ever lived on a chicken farm? We have, because we're chickens. Wake up, ruffle the feathers, peck, peck, peck. Lay an egg, peck, peck, peck. Go to sleep. We're bored. That's enough to drive a chicken. Go, go! But then, one dog, the pitiless, came.
I need volunteers for my crew. Lots few and powdered stew. Chicken, are you winning or are you a chicken?
To be or not to be chicken, that is the question. So we became Chicken of the Sea, even if we can't swim. Goodbye, farm. Farewell, farmer. Hello, big blue sea.
Now we pirate must do a pirate stew. Steal treasure and one of the greatest treasures in the world. A mountain of chicken feet, no. A nest of duck feathers, no. Beautiful sunny day, no, no, and no. The greatest treasure in the world is gold. And you know who other might over gold? The dog knife.
You may know what gold is, but we didn't, because we're chickens. So, over the 7 seas we sailed, flying the black flag through clear days and stormy ones. You may not know what seasickness is, but we do, because we're chickens. Then, we saw it through the fog. The castle of the Dog Knights.
Now we wait for dark.
At nightfall, armed to the beak with heavy metal, we scaled the walls of the castle while the Dog Knights slept.
Cock-a-doodle-doo! You all rude to opportunity do before I'm through with you. As for the rest of you, show it no mercy.
The clash of swords and sabers, the thunder of shot and shell, the smell of fear and the flying of fur and feathers, the barking and the
barking.
Oh, the terror, the terror. And then, through the smoke, we saw the terrier, the king of the Dog Knights, and under his paws, our captain.
Mercy! Mercy!
Chickens, what say you? Mercy, we said. Mercy. It was then that the king's heart grew 3 sizes, maybe even 4. And so he threw a big party for his dog knights and the pirates and even the captain. A feast with everything except chicken.
You're a terrible pirate.
That's because we're chicken.
And that is a good thing.
I think we're back. We're back online, Ellison. Come on, come on. Do you want to say anything about your book to the audience?
No.
No. Okay. Well, I think he is of the artistic school that believes that the work speaks for itself. But we will gladly also talk about it later as well. Hey, T and Hien, do you guys want to talk about the artistic process for bringing this book to life?
All right, so we used a program called Procreate that it's like, it feels like drawing on paper because you're given a kind of virtual pen, I guess, and there's lots of tools that you can use. Yeah, it's the pen. And there's also a time-lapse feature that records all of your drawings, and you can access it. And we'll be showing you that video now. And you have to be careful to look at the background because that's where a lot of the drawing is, I guess.
Okay. So this is the iPad that we drew the whole book on. Hien started the process by drawing all of the line work, and then, which was actually a lot of work, right? Because you had to lay out like what was going to happen on each page. And then there was a lot of editing too, because we would send our sketches to Viet and our editor, and they would have ideas. The first of which was, can there be more pages, right? Do you remember how many pages you added, Viet?
Ellison had 6 pages, right? So I think we did a total of 40 for this book. Is that correct?
I can't remember, 32?
32, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember we had this conversation where you know, I wanted 40 and you were groaning. You're like, oh my God, that's so much work. For me, an additional 8 pages is like 8 lines. For you guys, I don't know how many hours of work went into each of these pages.
Yeah, you can count on usually about 8 hours of work for each page. So I remember going to your house and making you go through line by line every change that you wanted to make and justify it. But you're very convincing, so then you convinced us to add all of those pages. So anyway, we're going to show you one of our favorite pages, which is the castle. Do you want to tell them about it?
No?
Okay. We saw a really cool castle on our travels in the summer. Some of this book was drawn here in the US, and some of it, because we were behind schedule, was drawn on our trip to Greece during the summer. And we are going to show you a time-lapse video of Hien drawing it. And at one point, it doesn't look like anything's happening, but if you look up really closely at the castle, he zoomed in and added all these details based on the real castle that we saw.
Okay, that was awesome. I love seeing that video every single time of how you guys did this, the beautiful work on this, both you and Hien.
Thank
In
you.
fact, we have started to get questions. So let us see. There's a relevant question here about the art process, and it's from the author Nguyen Thi Bui, who's writing to us from Germany. By the way, for the adults out there, Nguyen Thi Bui wrote this really beautiful novel called The Mountains Sing. You should really go check it out. She asks, first of all, thank you. She says, my nieces and nephew love Chicken of the Sea. Will you write or illustrate another book? And if so, would you collaborate with your parents again? To collaborate means to work together, Ellison. What do you think? Will you work together with me again on a new book?
I already started to.
Yes! How about you, Hien?
Maybe.
Come on. The difference between the 6-year-old and, are you 14 now? 14. Yes. Yeah, so, you know, I just want to say working with kids, at least a 5-year-old to 6-year-old is very fun, but you sort of have to let things go and follow the creative impulses, right? That's the beautiful thing. Kids say and think whatever, and they will also do things like this, so that's all part of the process. Do you want to add anything to that, T?
Yeah, no, as a parent and creative director, your role is to get out of the way and then to also step in and guide, but it's a very delicate dance, right?
A delicate dance is one way to put it, yes. Another question about the creative process. How many hours, this is from Dina, from the United States, how many hours at a time was Ellison willing to work? You hear that? How many hours was Ellison willing to work? And what are appropriate bribing mechanisms for kids his age? So how many hours are you willing to work on a book, Ellison? That's actually minutes rather than hours. I do believe the original Chicken of the Sea took you a few hours over a single day, right? Came in a burst of spontaneous creative energy, you know? Everything just poured out. And what's an appropriate bribing mechanism for kids his age? What do I have to do to make you work on a book?
I'm not sure.
Well, with Chicken of the Sea, it was entirely self-motivated. I had no idea what was happening until he showed it to me. He'd been working on a series of comic books, including titles like Thieves of Batman and Imperial. Oh, I'm giving away his ideas. Sorry. Can't do that. And but he did it on his own. But you know, the interesting thing is, I'm not kidding. We did make money off this book. We did get an advance off this book. And right now on the chalkboard on our kitchen wall, I have written down how much the advance, his portion of the advance was. And we have started to deduct the cost of his Legos from that advance. And he realizes now that his capacity to buy Legos is dwindling. And this is the great passion in your life, right? Building Legos?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And you have your eye on this incredibly expensive Lego set, right?
I bought it already.
Oh, well, you don't have that much more money. So when the money runs out, Ellison, no more Legos. So will you then write the sequel to Chicken of the Sea?
Okay.
Okay, that's an appropriate bribing mechanism. All right.
Wow.
Ellison, T, do you want to answer that question about bribery and collaboration?
Okay, Hien says no.
All right, other questions? Yeah. Do you have any legal issues with? Did you have any legal issues with the Chicken of the Sea Tuna Seafood Canning Company before or after publishing the book? The time-lapse video of the illustration was great. Okay. Did you know there was something called Chicken of the Sea before you started writing this book?
No.
I don't know how Ellison got it into his head to write a book called Chicken of the Sea, but he has never seen a Chicken of the Sea TV ad. There used to be this TV ad for this tuna company called Chicken of the Sea. It was very famous from this generation of T and me, you know, the really, really old people.
Funny.
No, we had McSweeney's incredibly powerful legal department vet this process, and they said, no, this is all okay. Okay, so where do you guys live? My friend Ha is from France. Barbara Rodriguez, my friend Barbara, is from Boston. Another person from Cincinnati, Bay Area, California. Another one from France, Ann Arbor, Michigan. That's where the Literati is. Bay Area, California. Okay, could you please let us know again what program was used for the illustration?
Procreate.
Procreate on the iPad. Where do the authors of this book live, T?
We're in the Bay Area, in Oakland and Berkeley.
And we are in, what city are we in? You know, in case you get lost,
California.
that's
California.
that's the state. What city do you live in?
America.
Okay.
I
Pasadena,
don't know.
California.
Oh yeah, Pasadena, California. I forgot.
Ellison is hilarious and adorable. All right. Well, thank you. I'm glad somebody thinks so. Ellison and Hien from Guimai, what are your favorite books? Hien, do you want to tackle that question?
I don't know. I haven't been reading that much.
Think back to when you used to read more. What did you spend a lot of time on? Who's one of your favorite graphic novels, comic?
I don't know.
Yes. I know this is a really hard question, right? I don't know how I would answer this question too.
It's like the hardest question ever whenever somebody asks me that.
I can't.
They're literally sitting on like hundreds of books in their heads. Yeah.
There are hundreds of books.
Yeah.
But you know what we're reading right now? We're reading Harry Potter. So,
Oh yeah, my
yeah.
favorite book is
yeah,
Harry
I read
Potter.
a sentence, he reads a sentence.
My favorite book is Harry Potter.
There you go. All right. Well, what are you reading right now, Hien?
Nothing.
Sorry, I'm a terrible quarantine parent.
Do you want to have a career as an artist like your mom?
No.
No. Okay. What do you want to be?
I don't know anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
We'll
What do
have
you
to
want to be?
talk about this.
Yeah.
Do you want to be a writer?
I'm not sure.
Okay, good. It's a life of misery and horror. Let me just tell you that right now. Ellison is so inspirational. Hien, your hair is so cool. Someone from Atlanta, Bellingham, Washington, Ann Arbor, Pasadena. Hello, neighbor. Can you make a TV show of the book? This is from Wyatt, your friend Wyatt. Do you want to make a TV show of the book?
Mm-mm.
What about you, Hien?
Get that TV money.
Oh.
Well, you know, we do have a film agent, and I know he did bring it to Sony, but, you know, who knows? I mean, Hollywood is its own kind of horror.
Love
so
Harry
okay, so we talked about Harry Potter. Yes, Bay Area, California.
Harry Potter
We love
too.
Harry Potter. We're reading Harry Potter. What is your favorite snack to eat while working?
Pretzels.
Pretzels?
Pretzels.
So healthy. What do you eat?
I don't know. Water.
That's not true.
That's true. So
What is it? What?
Well, T, what's your favorite snack?
Barbecue chips and whiskey. Sorry, shrimp chips and water.
Discovered kimchi flavored pork rinds. I thought that was pretty awesome. Yeah.
Where do you get that?
H Mart. It's a Korean supermarket. Yeah. Okay, so we have a 9-year-old. Hi there, Lynn. And Ellison, are you a celebrity at your school now? Do you know what a celebrity is? Are you a celebrity at your school? Well, I do know that whenever I walk him into his, classroom, all the kids say, Ellison! You know, like from the Cheers show when Norm walks into the bar. For all the really old people. Everybody goes, Norm! So, yeah.
What's Norm?
That's just the name of a guy who sits in a bar all day long. Yeah. My son is 13 and loves this book. Thank you. All right. Anything else? Any other questions? Last call. Oh, do you still like Batman from Anti-Chang?
No.
No? What do you mean no? When did this happen?
I like Marvel.
You like Marvel comics now and Batman's out of the question? Oh, it's all about Avengers right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ian, are you into superheroes and Marvel Universe kind of stuff?
not really.
Well, then what do you like?
Question from Allison.
I don't know. What do I like?
Tell them about the anime that you watch or the stuff that you read. Or where do you read your comics?
I read comics on illegal websites.
Illegal websites?
Oh, oops. On legal websites with legal claims to the books. Yeah,
Kind of epic sci-fi stuff, right?
Oh, I've heard.
I don't know. Yeah.
What was everyone's favorite part of working on the book?
What was your favorite part, Ellison?
Working with Daddy, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's right. That your TV rights depend on you saying that.
Mhm.
Okay. My favorite part was working with him.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
That's it.
Oh, you can say whatever you want.
Um, drawing it.
He's really fast. It was fun to watch Hien because he's just like so direct from like imagination to the page, whereas I think a lot. My favorite parts of a project are always the beginning when the ideas are like generating and close to the end when everything's wrapping up. But the middle part is very painful. 8 hours a page, people.
Hey.
This is for you, Ellison. What inspired you to pick chickens for the story? We loved your story.
Chicken are funny.
Chickens are funny. That's right. Have you ever met, you actually met real chickens, right? Don't mess with my, you met real chickens, right?
One.
Yeah. Do you listen to any music while working? And if so, what do you listen to? How about you guys, T and Hien?
I did, 'cause you were always next to me.
Oh yeah, on his own, Hien listens to a lot of music but you said I was always next to you, so you didn't.
No, I didn't.
That's true. Yeah, we listen to different music.
Yeah, very different.
Ellison does not listen to music yet, thankfully. And as for me, I like to listen to, things like Philip Glass, stark minimalism. That I hope to catch the rhythm of things. We have another question. What's the update on T's next project?
Let's see. Oh, I do have something coming out online on Monday at Reveal News and the Nid. Some shorter comics, interviews with people about coronavirus. And the next book, don't ask me about the next book. It's going to be a while.
Who is your favorite Marvel hero? This is from V in France.
All the Avengers.
All the Avengers. And I'm guessing, Hien, you don't have a favorite Marvel hero, right?
You like
No.
the napping guy.
And Shield.
Oh, and Nick Fury.
No, okay.
Hien, what was your favorite character or page to draw?
Probably the feast scene. That was fun. A lot of copy pasting.
Yeah, I enjoyed that scene too. Anything with food is pretty cool. Hey, Viet, this is for me. Have you worked with T before prior to this project? We did, right? We did a little collaboration. Oh, that's right. It's okay. I remember. It's T has this book called The Best We Could Do, which is a really beautiful comic book memoir, if that's how you want to describe it. And in the paperback version, you did something with me, right?
Hey.
Right. Yes, it's because I had asked you to write a foreword to the paperback, and you were like, "Nope." And so then I thought about how to bribe you, and I thought, "All right, I'm going to bribe you with a comic in which you star, and that'll be the beginning of the book." So, and then my bribe to you was that I would give you the original art, and it worked. So it was 4 pages of a conversation between you and me that we had over email, and then I just set it in a composite imaginary bookstore.
Yeah, so this is the part of the original illustration, and it was really gratifying for me because it totally satisfied my vanity since we spent a lot of time talking about my hair, which doesn't look as good right now because I'm under quarantine. I had to cut my own hair, but I spent a lot of time on my hair. It's a very important to my creative process and identity. And so, yeah, if you get the paperback version of The Best We Could Do, but not the hardback, you can see that conversation that T and I did there. Hey, Ellison, this is for you. Who is faster, Quicksilver or the Flash?
Quicksilver.
Quicksilver, there you go. What other hobbies do you have, Hien and Ellison? Why don't we go with Hien first?
I used to swim before quarantine. I draw sometimes.
What do you spend most of the day doing?
I'm on my computer most of the day, watching YouTube, listening to music. I don't have a very interesting life.
Ellison, what's your favorite hobby?
Building Legos.
Building Legos. It's true. Now you're into making movies with the Legos, right? Stop motion movie making right now with Legos. It's pretty cool. Why did you choose pirates, Ellison? Because kids like pirates. How long did it take from start to finish? So Ellison did Chicken of the Sea in one day. And then it took me a couple of weeks to write the words, which I found it very hard to do because it's like writing poetry, you know, it's like very, just, you know, kids, I wrote a book. I typically write books that are 300 to 400 pages long without any pictures, okay? So it was actually really hard to write just 30 or 40 lines for this. So that took a couple of weeks. And how long did the art process take?
6 months.
I think so.
And then the whole process was a year, including like waiting for like, I don't know, input from the editors and stuff like that.
Yeah, because we were we were doing this all on the side of other projects and going to school and traveling.
This year it took a year.
Yeah, I
In
think
total.
we turned in the final stuff like about a year later.
From Marilee, I'm Asian and want to publish a children's book on mindfulness. Any suggestions? T, you've actually done 2 children's books by now. And you actually know more about the children's book publishing industry than I do, I think. Do you have any recommendations here?
I have a really weird relationship with children's book publishing in that I never seek it out. I'm lucky in that projects come to me. So I say no, and then I say yes. My understanding is that usually children's book authors and children's book illustrators don't collaborate first. It's the publisher who brings them together. So if you have an idea for a book and you're the writer, just take it to a children's book editor and pitch the idea, and then they will usually find you an illustrator that they've worked with before.
All right, so here we have Harry Potter questions. Which Harry Potter house do you guys belong to? Hien, do you have a choice?
Used to be Hufflepuff, now it's Ravenclaw. No,
That makes sense.
yeah, Ravenclaw.
Hufflepuff and Ravenclaw.
Yeah.
What is Ravenclaw? I'm in book 2. I have no idea what Ravenclaw does or is or anything.
I don't know either.
Yeah. What about you? What house are you?
Gryffindor.
Gryffindor. How about you, T?
I'm Gryffindor.
Slytherin all the way. I think good. Okay. I'm only 2 books in, but you know, I'm totally on the dark side here.
I'm Gryffindor.
All right. Well, whatever. I believe in dark arts. All right. Remember to buy the book through Literati. Support your local bookstores. Okay. This is from Ha in France. You know, we've spent time with her and her family. We love your book. Nous avons fait de notre mieux. What does that mean in French? Because you're in French school right now. Nous avons fait de notre mieux. Does that mean it's like our favorite? Hien, who are your favorite YouTubers?
I don't know. Let's look at my recommended page.
You have a recommended page?
I like people who do stop motion.
Who's the guy that you showed me? We did like a fake K-pop video.
It's Ryan Higa. Yeah, he's funny.
And Ellison does, you know, actually the one thing I don't like is that you watch YouTube sometimes, and what do you like to watch on YouTube? What do you like to watch on YouTube? I'm revoking your TV privileges.
Stop motion.
Stop motion. But not just that, he likes to watch these people open Lego packages. There's this whole genre. They make a big deal out of opening a box and showing you what's in the box. It's like a total, I don't know what it is. It drives me crazy. So we've actually forbid him from watching these things. Like if you want to watch stuff on the screen, watch something with a story. Ravenclaws are known for their wisdom, cleverness, and wit. All right, go Slytherin, go Gryffindor, go Slytherin, dark side rules. All right, so everybody's got their favorite house. That's pretty awesome. Looking forward to spending the next several months reading Harry Potter with Ellison. Hey, Ellison, do you watch the Wallace and Gromit movies?
No.
Yes, you have. You watched one, but probably a long time ago since you forgot. Do you remember watching Shaun the Sheep?
Yeah.
Shaun the Sheep, good stop motion. What about you guys? Any favorite stop motion?
Probably Wallace and Gromit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. For all the parents and kids out there, Wallace and Gromit is really cool. Hey, I just want to thank everybody from wherever you guys have been for spending some time on Saturday with us, whether it's, you know, daylight or darkness outside. Just want to affirm the power of children's literature. I was out of touch with children's literature for many, many years until I had children, and now I'm discovering all kinds of wonderful things. I think children's literature is so much more interesting now than it was when I was growing up, and I'm glad we can make a little contribution to that. And of course, also, yeah, support your local bookstores. We're thrilled to do this with Literati. I did not have the chance to visit Literati when I was in Ann Arbor a couple of times, but you know, the local bookstores are helping to keep the local communities alive and connected. And so, yeah, if you can't visit physically in person now, or if you don't live in Ann Arbor, be sure to order the books from them, and I'm sure they can ship it to you. T, and Hien, anything you guys want to say?
No, this was really fun. This is my first Zoom event since shelter in place started. I've been hiding like a cave troll. So thanks for bringing me out into the light a bit. And it was really fun to see you, Ellison. And thanks for including both of us.
Yep.
Goodbye to everybody.